Hey y'all, I'm back. So, good news. Family voted to get Chick-fil-A for breakfast. We haven't done that in a few months. So, I'm super excited because we had a freaking field trip. Yeah, I'm just excited as fuck to be out of this house. I live here with my husband, daughter, 22, my 22-year-old daughter, and my mother-in-law. Yeah, okay. And she is great. Like, she really takes care of us. So I'm not really bagging on her. She takes really, really good care of us. Makes all the meals. I would help, but apparently I don't know how to do anything right. Because even though I'm 50, I'm really just a baby. I'm 5 years old and I can't possibly make anything by myself. So rather than being watched over and hovered over, which she literally will do, she'll stand right there, tell me how to make that pancake. So I just let her make all the meals. I'm not a cook anyway. I could care less. Whatever. She wants to do it. She likes to do it. She's been retired since she was 50, and she's like 78. So, this is her joy. She likes to take care of her family, and she does a really good job. So, but yeah, living with your mother-in-law in general, it's not the ideal situation, but we make do with what we have. So, but yeah, in my last video, there is, because I reviewed it real quickly, there's a red thing on my nose. No idea what it was. Possibly ketchup from last night. Who knows? I haven't worked in a little bit, guys. And so I just don't notice when I have shit on my face, I guess. But yeah, I'm out of work like many people. My daughter just lost her job yesterday. So that was a sad day. She was very upset. She had worked at this place for almost, 4 years. And then my job, I worked at for 8 years. I worked at a lab. And I didn't do like the lab stuff. I was customer service. So I worked with the doctor's offices and the nurses. Every now and then the patients would call, and we weren't really allowed to talk to patients, not about their test results or anything, but every now and then they would call just because they didn't know what to do. Sometimes their doctors would tell them to call us, which is not the appropriate thing to do, but I enjoyed helping them in any way that I could. I always, being a patient myself, I know what a trying time that is and how difficult it is, and a lot of people give you shit. A lot of customer service people shouldn't be doing customer service. They don't know how to do it with a smile and with respect, especially with the patients. Just have empathy, you know what I mean? Just treat them how you would want to be treated. Like if you called somewhere and you had a question about something, wouldn't you want them to treat you with grace and kindness and compassion? Anyway, I could go off on that for hours, but that's what I did for 8 years, and I absolutely loved it. It's not really an option for me to go back and do that because, hold on, y'all. I missed my turn. I don't drive that much anymore because I stopped driving myself to work about 4 years ago. My husband and I were fortunate enough, 4 years into my 8-year tenure at my old company, my husband got a job there in a different department, and he was able to drive me to work, luckily, because about 4 years ago I was diagnosed with my condition, which is one of the reasons I want to do videos, but we'll get into that later. Okay, so I'm getting into the line at Chick-fil-A here. When I get up to the order part, I'm going to turn this off because I got to get the order, and it's on my phone, and all I have is my phone. I stepped on my tablet and broke it. So, and I don't have a vlogging camera because I just started doing this. So, where was I? Anyway, so, yeah, I don't drive that much anymore. So I'm a little bit more of a slower driver now because I don't do it as much. And so I'm not as used to it. I stopped driving because our commute was so long. And sometimes my hands will cramp up on me and hurt really bad. And you just never know when it's going to happen. Like within 30 minutes, it's probably going to start happening, but that would be halfway to work. And then I have to pull over, and then what? Like, the car's not going to drive itself. You know what I mean? So my husband always drove us. But just the sheer effort it takes when you have a chronic illness, a chronic pain condition, just to get up and get to work and all that entails, and then working at the place of business, the length of time it takes you to go to the bathroom, how many times you have to go to the bathroom, all of that takes up a lot of energy, going to lunch and then driving home and the commute for that. So the last 2 years of working, I was using a walker every day. And then I was just in full recovery mode, which meant I was working. And when I wasn't working, I was in self-care mode, which was resting, putting heat on my body, crying. Sometimes it was just crying. I was in so much pain. And then I would get home. By the time I got home, I was so exhausted by everything. I was just going to sleep. So I was working and sleeping, and that was it. My quality of life was absolutely terrible. And things got really dark for me mentally. You know what I mean? It was kind of like, well, what am I here for? Just to make a living and be miserable and be in pain with no relief in sight, because I am on quite a bit of medications. But when you're not practicing self-care, which is rest, which encompasses a lot of different things that I can get into later, you're causing all these triggers for your body, the anxiety and the stress. So you're fighting against the medication that's trying to help you. So I won through the Americans with Disabilities Act. So anyone that's watching and you need assistance, you need some kind of accommodation from your work. Maybe you have back pain, and so you need a stand-up desk that would help you relieve your back pain. So you could stand up and sit down as your body needs to. You can get an accommodation. Your businesses have to comply with this to the best of their ability. And so I went through the ADA to get an accommodation, and I won the accommodation, which was letting me work from home. There's no reason, when you have a business and you have a customer service team, we had laptops, and when we had inclement weather, or if some people had to work on the weekends, we worked from home. And we had 14 people working from home already that were in different states or that moved for their husbands. Some moved for their boyfriends. So there was honestly no reason for me not to be able to work from home. But unfortunately, I lost my job. And many Americans have lost their jobs right now. Many people are out of work. So that, of course, is affecting my job search. So yeah, it's been a tough go. And I'm so sorry, I'm getting distracted. Wish I get distracted easily because I'm about to get my order. So I'm going to go deal with that, and I will be back. Bye.